So the drama continues to unfold. Just over 2.5 hours. And Thomas Enqvist serving at 5-6 to stay in the match.
So that Rios really, in the last 3 or 4 games, gone off the boil a little bit, but at the same time, Enqvist looks like he's raised the level of his play. It might be a very interesting tie-break if it gets that far.
The serving has really picked up latterly. Serving with all the old authority. What we've seen in the latter part of last year and the beginning of this. And now the double-hander won't work. And he's 2 points from going out here. Three very ordinary shots, and here's match point for Marcelo Rios.
Now, what does Enqvist do? Does he go for the big serve, which is his normal thing, or does he make sure he gets his first serve in so he doesn't have the pressure of his second serve? I think he's going to go for it. They're living this match, aren't they? There's no answer to that.
Natural instincts. No. Great scampering from the man from Chile. And the supporters can hardly contain themselves now. A second match point. Oh, just enough of a kick.
He certainly was very brave with that second serve.
He screamed the call out as if his life depended on it. And again, desperately close. And it was in.
And it was in. You're right.
So it would have been third match point to Rios. Well, I wonder if Enqvist knows how lucky he was. But let's take away the bad call and congratulate Enqvist for coming up with the goods. Two big serves to first serve and a second serve to save those two earlier match points. Tie-break time. Again. Still not really consistent enough.
And this is where coaching, during a match would have been so beneficial to Enqvist, because I'm sure Jakob Nielsen knows exactly what he's doing wrong on his forehand and backhand, but just can't tell him. He's not allowed to.
Serve is keeping him alive, but he's still got a mini break to retrieve now. So many empty seats. It's now 20 to 8 local time in the evening. We've been going since 10:45 this morning, non-stop, and all the matches filled with drama. Careless.
Thank you.
Has let himself down. Two very average forehands, and now the ball very much on the other foot.
I'm convinced he doesn't like his racket.
I think Chris enjoyed that serve. How important has his serve been when we come down to the nitty-gritty?
Yes, he's always had a dangerous service, Thomas Enqvist, because he really does give it a big whack. And it is his serve that's kept him in this match, as you rightly say.
Yes, the ground strokes aren't the ground strokes that took him to those two titles back-to-back at the end of last year. But Rios has just been perhaps a little casual on occasion. Seemed to have this match totally within his grasp, and now it's elusive. Enqvist hasn't got a lot of confidence in the line calling, so a very sharp look to make sure the call was coming.
It's not the first time he's aced him up the centre line, but I mean, that is a metre from the centre line. There's no way that that can possibly be an ace. Enqvist just can't be reading it at all.
Well, he had so much time, and for such a good player, he really should have made it, instead of which there are 3 set points now for Thomas Enqvist.
Still doesn't know where the baseline is.
Well, looks across there again. It was perilously close to being out. My instincts were that it was out, but maybe impossible to overrule. But he's lost 2 set points on his serve.
Who would believe it? All he needed was one of his big serves, and he couldn't get it. Is that somebody whistling?
Well, how about that? Misses on the serve, loses 2 points, set points on his serve. It comes up with, well, a pedigree volley to take the serve.
Edberg would have been proud of that volley.
2 sets all, 2 3/4 hours. We're in for a deciding set. On centre court then, a deciding set between Thomas Enqvist, number 7 seed, Marcelo Rios, number 9 seed.
Just inquiring about the lights.
And you can see they're on.
Now, what do you think that 4th set is going to do to the 2 players? Rios having a couple of match points and Enqvist having a couple of set points before he finally got it.
Well, you'd guess at this stage that it's Enqvist who's feeling the better going into it.
Got to. But can he keep the momentum going? And can Marcelo Rios somehow or other find the inspiration that he had earlier on in the match?
Yes, in the middle of the match, he was masterful.
Way too slow to get to that ball. By the time he got there, the ball was way down below the height of his knees, and he still tried to hit the ball as hard as he possibly could.
Found the baseline right there.
Rios gives me the impression he's thinking that he's lost his opportunity. Whether he can get his composure back or not, we'll soon know.
Yeah, good call. Difficult because Rios must have been nearly blinding him, but he did well there.
Don't know why he didn't go down the line.
Yeah. I get the feeling with Rios, though, that he's even though I hear what you say, that he's got such belief in himself, that he still believes that if he plays well enough, he can win this. Yeah. So now he's missed both sides. Rios, if he can get the break, will of course be feeling totally transformed. Break point. Ebbs and flows so much, doesn't it, the ground stroking of Thomas Enqvist.
He finds it very, very difficult to string a couple of good shots together.
Second break point. Well, that really did look very iffy indeed, and Marcelo Rios has countered the disappointment of losing the tiebreak and is 1-love up in the fifth set. Well, we talked about the ebbing and flowing of the ground strokes of Thomas Enqvist, and with that really has gone the fluctuation of this match. But Rios in the middle there played on a higher level than either has played before or since. And he is now favourite again, 1-love.
In our talking about Enqvist, struggling with his forehand, then suddenly struggling with his backhand, one mustn't think that we feel that it's a bad match. I think it's an interesting match. Fluctuating all the time.
No, I have to say, I'm a little disappointed in it. I thought this would be a great match. It's not a great match.
No,
times has been a good. Now Enqvist has a chance.
I think what makes it interesting is the fact that you really don't know what's going to happen. If they're both playing very well, then you don't know what's going to happen for certain reasons, but they're scratchy with their play.
We were saying during the break, I think we both fancy Rios to win this now, but you were saying the only way it'll go the other way is if Enqvist can suddenly string the form, which we know he's capable of, together.
And it doesn't look like he's likely to do that.
frustrated with himself. Can't find the form often enough. Oh no, Chino with a point for 2 love. Well, he's come back once as Enqvist in the 4th set when it all looked up. Rios had this kind of control, 4-1. Who's to say he can't do it a second time? I have to say it doesn't look likely. But he's a doughty campaigner, Enqvist. Needs all that resilience right here.
He's always been the type of player that's wanted to hit his ground strokes very hard, as Enqvist, and he's going to continue to do that in the hope that he finds his range.
Rios won the point, but you see the way that Enqvist was playing that rally. He looked tired. He was putting an awful lot into the shots, and there was no impact, really. Really having to stretch himself to the limit now. Three hours. First hour of which was in intense heat. Good serving, but again, a little stumble afterwards. Rios leads 2-1. Well, you can't really tell, but Thomas Enqvist ailing as Rios leads 2-1 in this deciding 5th set. Yeah, the movement suddenly is gone.
Well, I mean, that was a nothing serve, really. I suppose it's not a bad second serve. He didn't even go for it.
No, he's got big problems. Maybe worse than blisters. Maybe he's totally run out of gas.